first went into my Survey Monkey, but honestly,
Yeah,
what
Robin,
I
really.
found was
There
the
goes.
my Survey Monkey was not as generous as the Google Docs. So I went into Google Drive and I took the standards for performance expectations. What are they? It says on all the state things, performance expectations. Okay, so I used both terminology throughout the document. And we designed a survey, and I'm just going to go through this for purpose of the public. Okay, a survey was designed to provide feedback to the Science K-5 Workgroup, which was formed according to Missouri House Bill 1490 regarding the science performance expectations, and it contained kindergarten through 5th grade performance expectations only. The participants were allowed the opportunity to provide feedback on all performance expectations or a subset if they preferred, and the feedback was used in conjunction with data statistics to refine standards before they were recommended to the State Board of Education by October 1, 2015. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at the culmination, the disaggregation of the data, which I provided in this report, and then attend to those which were the majority of respondents found that needed to be rewritten. So the information provided herein is used strictly to inform House Bill 1490 K-5 Science Workgroup efforts and to approve the workgroup recommendation of the Missouri State Board of Education. We will provide a copy of the survey results to the Board of Education when we provide the final document, so they'll know that we received feedback from the public. On the next page, I put a table of contents so you can quickly navigate the document. The most important part of the document, aside from the comments per section, will be on page 3 of this document. You see there were 762 responses collected, with 89.1% of the responses coming from elementary teachers. Statistically, that is an outstanding response for a survey. I'm really excited, so we know that the survey comments will be valid, and the comments will be valid because they were so substantial. The data shows the public response overwhelmingly chose to keep most of the standards as written by the committee. However, the following performance expectations will be reviewed by the committee today. Kindergarten biology, to construct an argument supported by evidence for how plants and animals, including humans, can change the environment to meet their needs. 57.6% of the respondents felt that we needed to rewrite that performance expectation. In life science for 1st grade, structure and function, and it was also present in life science information processing, the standard design a solution to a problem by using an external structure from a plant animal. 60.3% of the respondents felt that we needed to rewrite that expectation. And then finally, the last one, which received a majority of rewrite, was 3rd grade. Earth science, natural hazards, which we had written, make a claim about the merit of a design solution that reduces the impacts of a weather-related hazard. 63.4% of the public believed that we needed to rewrite that. If you look at the next page, you can see the overall composite of respondees, and I'm really tickled. I'm sad that we didn't get a single engineer. Not one single engineer responded to this. And we sent it to all the science groups in Missouri, and so they had opportunity to respond, but we just had none that did. I am pleased, I will say, that all the other categories had people. We had 40 parents who responded, which is outstanding. As you can see, the majority of them were from elementary. The majority of them were classroom teachers. Both of those areas of response are relevant in that those are the people that are actually going to be utilizing them. And
and also you're experts in the field.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are experts in the field. Okay, so in regard to that, I have included every single comment from every single respondee, every single piece, every pie chart that shows the percentages responding to each area. And so my recommendation to this work group is that we spend the rest of today looking at those 3 that need to be rewritten and going over every comment for those 3 that need to be rewritten, code those according to the majority response, and then consider how we want to rewrite those. So that's my piece. Okay.
Aggression. Obviously, can't please everybody. You gotta go home as need be.
But everybody had a voice, and that's wonderful.
Everybody had a voice, and they voiced it. I mean, these are the responses. The fact that there's so many responses, people took advantage of the opportunity to make their field, their craft better.
In a very short turnaround, I know.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was.
So I think it's say, I had doubts about this.
Yeah.
I was very concerned about making this as what you made this. And
I told you
absolutely,
guys.
absolutely, this is,
And so at the end of it, you said there's really only these three where the majority said, take a shot at this.
Now, we had some duplicates. And can we remove those duplicates?
Where are they?
On that original document in Google Docs,
Okay.
the sheets that Eric had put together, on mine, I made them like red or something, and I put it the
They were
front
dark
green
green.
of them.
I remember them.
Okay, and there
Two
were like
sections
two
were like
different
that.
kinds that were duplicated.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
would recommend that we eliminate the
Well, we need to decide
duplicates.
where those go.
Right.
On your document.
That's why they were duplicates, we weren't sure.
We
if
put them in
they-
two different places.
And actually, one of those was one of the ones that, the
Needs
one that appeared in
revised.
both life science,
And people picked it up in the comments, that's the.
Yeah, there were some
They
that said.
they were watching it closely enough to
Right.
realize.
Everywhere in the comments, they were like, these two are duplicates. These are really
Yeah,
different."
yeah.
Which we knew they were, but,
Right.
I
yeah.
had
But
one.
that's nice that they
Yeah.
actually took the time to catch that.
Someone also picked up a spelling error.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Single spelling error, you got a copy of that?
that's awesome.
I said to her, I was like, you need to fix, it was like plant, the planets or,
It's a
Yeah.
plan.
And I basically just,
yeah. that-
I just basically extracted everything from that document and put it in here.
Yeah.
So, so probably what we're gonna do is just divide up into groups and take, like, 2 or 3 of us read one, and 2 or 3 of us read one, and, you know,
One grade level.
and then,
One of these three.
one of these 3, and then just code them to what the overwhelming response was of the
There's
public.
like 3 of them, we could do those 3 together. and get-
Okay, that'd be great.
I think
I didn't put it in. Sorry, I
Knock
didn't
them out.
put it in.
then we go through and
Oh, I
find our
like it.
duplicates and deal with
Yeah,
that
that's
real quick.
I have a gold Sharpie that.
Highlighter would be awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Hey, Perry,
I'm just looking, trying to find where those ones at in there.
Okay, in the back, oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm going through and highlighting where I see
Yeah, that's kind of what I did,
KEESS2E.
I kind of marked
Okay.
it with pen.
So
In the document.
KES2E, that's where we need to.
Right.
I kind of marked it with
LS
however way
2A
they
and
started.
LS 1A. I think,
Right.
That are duplicated.
Yeah, that is. That's on one, on first grade.
Which is the very first one.
Okay,
So
so page,
KESS2A is the first comment, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's page 21 and page 22 is where the information about that standard is.
Yeah. And it skips, it's in a couple different, but there's a lot of comment regarding.
Yeah.
Okay, so read it, are you gonna just read it, Perry?
I don't know where it's at, I haven't found
On
it.
the very-
You guys are much
Page
better than I.
21.
21 at the top of the page.
And you know, like, one of the comments on that standard was that it was too vague. Well, that's because they're not seeing the whole.
Guys, do you realize
Well,
though
I
that,
just, the vague comments just really good, because I think as a teacher, you would want it to be vague, and it's your responsibility to go deeper, in a way,
here's the problem.
but I don't.
I'm just gonna make this comment, that there actually isn't very much comment on that.
Told what to talk.
This comment, right, right.
Oh, and not to.
That's
Some
curriculum.
of the comments are saying, just tell me what to teach.
That's curriculum.
But some want that because they don't feel like they're a content expert
Right.
in science. And when you're in elementary and you're responsible for all content areas,
Right.
if science isn't your thing, it's easier because I have so much on my plate to say, just give it to me how you want it
Okay.
done.
Right.
Guys, only the first 7 lines have anything to do with the one.
Yeah.
Only the first 7 lines do we
Because then it
consider.
goes to
The rest goes to the next standard. So we only consider the first 7 lines.
Just not-
No, because then it mentions it again down at the bottom.
Yes.
Well.
About,
that's
look
someone
how far
else's
down I
comment.
am.
Oh, okay, I see it.
You see
That's
it?
at the bottom.
Says I don't think it's as important to focus on how they change the environment.
Yes, but more importantly, how living things change. to me.
Okay, let's just read them out loud. Let's start at the top here.
Go ahead, please,
Okay, you want,
You do it.
Okay.
please.
KESS2E. You should begin by stating with prompting and support to not.
Where are you at?
Wait.
She's on the
I
second one.
skipped the part of standards are too.
Yeah,
vague.
but
But
the
before that, it
argument,
does say argument
rather than opinion.
rather than opinion.
Say opinion rather than argument.
Are you at the very top?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Are
she
these
skipped
standards
the
mastery
vague.
are introduced because because
That's
they're not.
Darby.
Yeah, that's not really regarding.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. She's at the top third
Top.
line.
Oh, I got it now, okay.
Where I'm starting where it says kindergarten basics, animals, plants, weather. Things that directly relate to the students, not abstract ideas. You should begin with stating, with prompting and support to most of these standards. Consider, communicate observations orally and or pictorially. Then they specifically say, KEESS2E, construct an argument with evidence. Change their environment. No, use a model to represent the relationship. What does that mean? That's what it says.
That's the next standard. Use a model to represent the relationship is KESS3C.
So that, okay.
So
So
where-
what they're about, talking about KEESS2E is, you should begin by stating, with prompting and support. Consider, communicate observations orally and or pictorially.
You know what I'm concerned about? That's one comment. We consider that comment, but we have to rewrite this standard, but we can't use only one
No,
comment.
I'm just
No,
reading it,
no, no,
I'm just
no.
reading it, okay.
Okay,
Then
so-
the next, go ahead,
keep
the
going.
next person says, KEESS2E. I don't think it's as important to focus on how they change the environment, but more importantly, how living things change to meet the environment in which they live. So that person is basically saying that standard should address the reverse.
At some point,
Is this a
Do we-
GUI or is this NGSS?
do we, I thought we at some point did both sides of that.
I think that's what I was.
We've talked about that.
So I'm just reading the comments, I mean, then we decide what we're gonna do. So, okay, 2 opinions so far, that we should put communicate observations orally or pictorially, and then this person basically is asking us to reverse it. KESS2E. So then we go to the next page.
Well, it's addressed at the very bottom of 21, it starts, it just doesn't have a K in front of it.
Right.
And it says they're too loosely written.
Too loosely
How would you
written.
explain the concept that plants change their environment to meet their needs?
Be more specific in task.
Well, construct an argument, I don't know how we can be more specific.
Okay.
That's kind of tough to,
Then we
Sure,
go,
Margaret, these are-
um,
leave it to you.
okay, and then if you skip down a few lines, it says ESS2E again. It says discusses how plants and animals change their environment. I think it would be beneficial to include something about structure and function of plants and animals. And then they referenced that in 3.1, they have a reference here. 3.1DA, observe and compare the structures and behaviors of different kinds of plants and animals. So I guess what they are saying is that we should address that structure and function. Yes. Okay. KESS2E.
It's obviously too vague, because that comes over and over and over, the vagueness of it.
Which partly is because, they don't understand construct an argument, because that's terminology from frameworks and next generation assessment. So there are specific things that happen when you construct an argument. I also feel like they're saying that it is, too much for kindergartners to
Yes, because it's-
construct an argument.
Down here, it does say the next person says it should be natural resources instead of biology.
So this one's ESS2E. In life science, we have at kindergarten, observe and compare the structures and behaviors of different plants and animals as a supporting standard, which to me, that would be supporting for this standard. Because
So
in
for
order to
that
answer
person-
this standard, you have to know structure and function of plants and animals. If you didn't
That's what I
know
was
that,
saying.
you wouldn't be able to answer it.
Now, the next one, about 3/4 of the way down, please consider adding additional information to KEESS2E. I am not sure what it is expecting students to study, unless it is specifically asking what humans do to change the environment, but attempting to make that covert by including humans in parentheses. overall the standards don't give me enough information as a teacher, which that's because they're not seeing the whole document.
Right.
What I've heard in two of these comments is that they want to make some people are afraid that there'll be an environmental agenda. That's what it sounds like. Because they're concerned about human impact on the environment. We've discussed that in depth a lot. That there is a
Some
human,
parents.
yeah, they will. But there is a human impact, but we have talked and talked and talked about it.
Interpret it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's a
But
local
that's a
curriculum
curriculum
control.
That's
issue,
right.
not a standard.
And that's
And they're
local.
not, and this standard doesn't require them, this standard is not talking about human impact. It's talking about plant and animal impact on their environment. So
Did we
this
say
has,
that?
it says, construct an argument supported by evidence for how plants and animals, it says including humans in parentheses.
So, yeah,
But it's bigger than humans. It's like, it's almost like if you plant crops in a field, then it affects the environment. It doesn't allow the dirt to blow away. And it
Okay,
doesn't.
doesn't this, I mean, our actual thing reads, use observation to describe patterns of what plants and animals, including humans. Wait, I need to sit down. I'm sorry.
How about instead of saying including humans, you could say, for example, and list humans and list a couple of other examples
Well,
as well.
and it seems like people are having an issue with kindergartners constructing an argument.
I'm more worried about that than I am the human part.
Right.
Because I think the reason it says including humans is that if it didn't, a lot of people don't classify humans as animals.
Right, and I agree with
So
that.
that's why, I think that's why it's in there.
Well, and
But I
know
think if
it's
we listed,
interesting.
I think if we listed a couple of other things, it would take the issue out for the people that are maybe having issues with it, looking like it's we're only picking on people as destroying the planet type thing.
That's what a concern is. That's
Right.
That's what
Maybe-
but that's what
maybe
they
more
would say,
time.
it's
Okay, that's not-
792.
That was only.
Somebody might say that's not the road we're going down.
But there are people who have difficulty with the idea that
Seven hundred
humans are
hours,
animals.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well, it's not difficult, it's just they don't
They don't
When
categorize
you
it.
put animals in a standard,
They wouldn't necessarily think of humans.
like
But
if you're
when-
saying,
They would think
how
so.
plants and animals, they're gonna think deer eating your corn crop.
Right.
They're
But,
not gonna-
but humans would be
Plant-
included with animals, yeah.
I was just taking that comment that one teacher made and looking at it from
Mm-hmm.
somebody without a science background trying to teach it and thinking about the broader scope, that listing two other items with the humans might suggest that there are more inclusive, that we're including everything in that. And it would also give them some other examples of things that they could use, and they would maybe broaden their scope of it.
Have we done all of them? Yeah. Did you get to the bottom?
Well, this person that listed that has a whole more lot to say about that. But then they get down to, back to construct an argument. I think it's important for kindergartners to explore, observe, investigate, and solve problems.
Right.
And I think you're right, it's a developmental thing.
So they
They're
said,
worried
you
about
know, maybe
I think they're
planning,
worried about
conducting
that.
investigation.
They don't have enough
assisting.
information
I
on
think it's
their
developmental
knowledge
issue.
to.
But another thing that goes on to say here that I found in other comments, how many of them reference the fact that we're writing these standards for kids? That's
I
not
noticed
what
that
we're doing.
myself as well.
The person says overall kindergarten standards appear, children at the kindergarten level need smaller words and or more explanation. Well, we're not
Well, the
writing this
words are for
for
the teacher, not for
kindergarten.
kids.
Right, they need to
And
have
that's,
the standard and
it's
put it in
several
there.
times.
I
I
read
noticed
that.
that.
Well, there was even a comment that said these need that be, you need to be able to, the kid needs to be able to read it to say, I can,
The guy can't stay with
and
somebody who's
whatever.
But that's how you, that's
When
how
you're
you,
wrapping a standard.
But
But
that's
yeah,
like
the
that's curriculum
student
level
can't-
work, not standard.
Yeah, like, the
That's teacher's
California
job.
ones are written, the student can, and
Yeah,
then the
I can't say
state.
this.
Yeah, and I
It's
thought.
all kind of correlated.
but that's unpacking the
But that's,
standards.
but that's building level work, not statewide standard level.
I don't know, I think this is.
So I almost think, I don't really wanna get rid of the construct an argument.
Nope.
Do we wanna put with, someone had wording.
Well, there's
with
more.
With
There's
prompting
more.
and support.
I think that's.
I like with prompting and support,
I like
that's
that.
fine.
There are more comments.
That's,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah,
there
There's more
are.
comments.
Okay.
Um,
There's more, 24.
But you just said,
It's
oh,
like-
it's not just earth science, it's also life science should be coded biogeology.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Okay, out of, I need
So Kelly, I'm still processing that, what you're thinking, and in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know, it's almost like in the standard, it says plants and animals. We could take out the including humans, which would eliminate their concern, but then I'm afraid that people will not think, will not consider
Will not.
human action as a part of that.
Oh, surely.
But then if we added some other organisms in there, I don't know what other, because animals are
Then that's gonna be
animals.
the only
I don't
thing
know
that
what
we-
other organisms that that would rise, that need to be added, because when you say animals, you think of everything.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, so I don't know.
disagree with that, I'm just looking at it purely.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So I'm trying to.
Yeah, we talked about
I'm
that.
myself in that kind
Yeah.
of position,
A
and I
lot.
look at her
Right.
and I
Yeah.
go, if someone's afraid that we're just picking on humans
Right.
and destroying the planet,
Right.
and that's a concern for some people.
But it says including, not.
Right, but she didn't understand
Yeah.
what it said
Yeah.
that. And she even said, it looked like you're covertly,
Well, that's because that's their worry, is that we are being covert with
Right.
that statement.
and
Well,
so
we're
I
not.
thought maybe if we just, looked like we were putting
Right.
humans
Right.
I mean,
as
you
an
just have to
example
look
with
at how
some
some
other
people look at it.
examples,
Yeah.
and if we changed that for example, and listed a couple of other specifics, like crops, or,
Well, we're just trying to keep everybody.
well, right, but I'm just saying.
Could you list including?
To me, I think.
Humans, insects, list different, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Mine does say
insects
among it.
and-
Okay, and that's.
And I've like tried to twist it so that I'm entertaining the ideas of this person that made that
You
comment.
could say including but not limited to humans.
That would be
No.
fine with me too, if we wanted to do that, that would be
And
a,
that way they would say,
Right.
I can think it's not just
Yeah.
people, but
It's really just
It's
clarification,
just, right.
semantic.
Right.
It is a semantic.
It's 100% semantic, and
It is very.
how tough would that be just to open this up and punch that in?
Absolutely. Okay, so,
That's-
Or we make it less covert by taking it out of parentheses and just putting it in comma,
that-
including humans, comma.
I like the
What?
board.
you do?
I do
Okay.
like the prompting.
I thought you were saying that seems to be the major overreaching. issue.
Now, here's the challenge with that, which probably will not be a big deal because they're not gonna assess kindergartners. You know what I'm saying, how would you assess with prompting and support, but in reality, we're gonna be lucky if we get more than one test for science at elementary. So, I say we add with prompting and support
I
at the
agree.
front of it.
I agree with that comment,
Yeah. Because that
And
seems to
is
be
there
the
a way
overreaching
to-
problem.
or at the end of it.
Is
We don't
there a
start
way
the
to
question.
make this
Uh-oh, grammar Nazi.
sound?
No.
Grammar Nazi. Do we watch our presentation? No, no. You can see this great on chalkboard on it.
Is there a way to, because I see what that line is saying about how the organism changes the environment to meet their needs, but is there a way to include, to do both?
At
Say
kindergarten,
that-
I don't think, it is
We
later.
talked about that.
That we
It's
change-
later.
Later we did.
It's later. I don't think kindergarten is conceptually the time to start talking about natural selection and adaptations.
No.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
And if we change it, we're gonna change the whole concept of the
Right.
standard.
We don't-
And I don't know that kindergarten is ready
In
to go
kindergarten, you
there.
wanna tell them, people plant things maybe where it didn't grow before to feed themselves.
Or they
people
pave parking
plant
lots, or
trees,
they-
all that.
You,
But
yeah,
see,
you
to
add-
me, that's worse.
Or animals dig holes.
You add gypsum
or-
to your
Yeah.
soil so you can grow.
Right.
You know, you
Yeah.
So
put
it's,
in your house.
and that's not abstract. That's gonna be very concrete.
I've seen a whole skills for somebody that had time to write some support materials for the Missouri State.
But they can see.
You can be
Good.
Ask me that in your
You can be rich.
to write
I
for
would
it.
have a tree.
And I feel that the comment about
Somebody needs
not
to
using
create
argument
resources
in
for
wording
our
opinion, I think that comes directly from your current ELA.
They are.
Yeah.
Because at that
I don't think
grade
I-
level.
Yes, we want-
Yeah.
we don't
have control.
And we're not doing opinions in science.
And that's what I know that, but I think
That's, I agree.
a
You're
heavy
probably right.
ELA person would think, well, that makes
So
sense
this is
because
general
it's a consistency in terminology, and they miss the whole, but this is science.
myself included,
What they
until I
think,
thought
yeah.
about it. Because
Okay, so
if
are
they-
you making changes, or do we need to make changes?
I've got the documents open, I just don't know which ones to do.
Okay, on KES.
Where do you want your
2E
propositional
biology.
phase?
Okay, constructed arguments supported by evidence for how plants and animals.
I
What
don't know
was
how
the
to
phrase
do
you're
it.
adding?
With prompting and support. I don't know where to put it other
Put it
than
at the
the
beginning,
front.
put it at the beginning with a comma.
I want it in the front.
Can you put
I
prompting
don't
and
follow
support
it.
in the
Constructed
front?
constructed argument, comma,
prompting and
with
support.
prompting and support, comma.
Oh, I'll do
perfect.
that.
That's perfect.
Okay,
That's perfect.
Jamie.
That's perfect.
Go team.
Constructed argument,
Argument
comma.
with, yes,
With prompting and support, I
Which document are we
it's all
editing?
position.
Are you doing the individual
But
ones
it
or the
doesn't
big
sound,
ones?
doesn't sound weird, with prompting and support, comma, supported by evidence or not.
Trying to figure where we're at.
Okay. Let me get this in the notes.
You know what, my gut's saying don't change the humans. Well, you guys decide, cause that's my,
You
what
wanna
my gut's
vote on it?
saying,
I say we're gonna
you
leave
guys
it.
vote on it or whatever.
I need to hear it in its
Hang
entirety
on, hang
before I
on.
vote.
We have a redundant
I'm just
word.
that
We
way.
have redundancy. Hang on.
Support.
Yep, we're gonna have, hang on, let's do a thesaurus.
Oh, say construct an
Guidance.
argument with prompting and support.
But we can't say that because we just said supported by.
Oh.
How about
Guidance.
guidance, structure, what do
All right,
you?
so say that again?
Construct an argument supported by evidence, comma,
With prompting.
with, no,
No.
wait, construct an argument, comma, with prompting and guidance, comma. That doesn't make sense.
No.
So, supported by evidence, really, it's two phrases that describe construct an argument. I say we put it at the beginning,
I
I'm
think we put it at
sorry.
the beginning,
I
let's
think
do
the
it.
beginning.
Let's just do it at the
Yes,
beginning,
I
and it's
do
not
too.
our problem after that,
Sorry,
because they
Erin.
know what we mean. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so what do we do?
With prompting and guidance,
Or prompting and guidance.
construct an argument
Argument
supported by
support.
evidence.
With prompting and support sounds better though, doesn't it?
I like support better even
Then
if
let's,
it is
then
redundant.
just say it, with prompting and support.
I like what construct an argument.
Even though it's.
Using
you
it,
put-
because guidance infers
Yeah, what
that
about by
you are
using it?
directing
Using
their
it.
opinion, to whereas support,
Is
you
helping
are,
what they think.
exactly. Guidance is you're trying to manipulate their thinking.
So after argument.
All right, so I've got, with prompting and support, construct an argument using evidence for how plants and animals, including but not limited to humans, can change the environment to meet their needs.
I like it.
I like it.
I love it.
I love it too. It's much better.
It is.
I like it so much.
Okay.
Okay, so fixed. Okay, payload.
I'm sorry, I
And
wrote
what's
it
the
down,
next
so I
one?
gotta go back.
LS1A.
Okay, give me just a second.
Okay, let me,
I have some of them.
Oh, we already have them coded up? Well, I gotta find it first. so.
okay, continue Beverly.
Now, just a sec.
She's note taking, so she's.
Oh, that's true. Now we go to LSS 1A.
Which they're all on one page.
Okay.
You'll see.
Oh, I
And
see.
LS 1B.
Yeah,
LS one A.
It's LS 1A and LS 1B.
LS one.
Let's do that with the same.
Yes.
Say there's one on.
Oh, are they the same? Okay, well, we're getting rid of one, so let's get rid of, we gotta decide.
They
whether
are,
it's
they are
right
the
here.
same.
KPS2A and KPS2B.
Which one was the duplicate?
Are the same.
LS one.
Uh-oh,
Two.
no.
D is.
What?
They said KSB, say it again,
PS2A and PS2B.
in kindergarten.
They said are the same. There's a comment. Not now.
Okay, PS2A and PS2B were the same in kindergarten. We'll go back and look at that.
And now we're doing LS one.
LS one A.
Okay, LS 1A, here we go. We'll go back to that.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm in green.
just, the second,
Oh my gosh. Okay.
like right at the, not the very top, but down just about an inch. LS one A.
25, page 25.
25. Will there be a clarification statement with examples for this standard? Well, we need to, there will be supporting, so we need to.
And Bob this morning sent out an email to all of us saying that he had, let me read his email real quick, that goes right along with what you just said. Did you all receive Bob's email this morning?
Yes.
Okay, it says, I have a new installment of storylines for them for third grade. I've stared at the life science where too, they shouldn't be difficult. Since October 1 looms, I think I'll take an Earth physical for the remaining grades as my first priority. So he's gonna provide storylines as an example, and I think some of that will be taken care of through storylines for teachers. teachers to understand.
Well, and we have supporting standards for the STEM, right? I mean, it's not.
Oh,
They have
sure.
not seen the supporting
And
standards.
they have not seen
So
it.
what we
That's
need
right.
to do is figure out how we're going to present that to the board so that the supporting standards are somewhere.
I think we should show them that document and a standards document.
Yeah.
And the survey document.
Yeah.
Send it all. We
Yeah.
should have that recommendation. That
So we're gonna have to clean
Yeah.
up
we
both.
recommend
And the storylines.
supporting sta- Yeah, we recommend supporting standards. We recommend there to be the supporting resource clarifications, whatever.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. I agree.
And then basically, that's the same thing again, as you go down,
What page you on?
we're still on 25, you're down about,
Right.
about over a third of the way almost now. Provide more information on expectations for one LS1A and one LS1D. So, there you go, they're just seeking more information.
Yeah, I think that must mean that it's not very clear. Do you think? Or they just want supporting,
They were wanting supporting,
Well, they wanna know what it looks like
and
in a
Eric, while you're
classroom.
in there, several people noted that at one LS3A, it should say plants instead of plans. I don't know if that's.
There was 2 comments right there
Oh.
all in a row.
that would
While
be
you're
on the
there.
A document.
LS3A.
Eric, on LS3A, it should say plants instead of plans.
And then you got somebody that's basically saying, shouldn't have any of this.
Where is it at?
Hold on, read it. What?
One LS3A, several people said that somewhere in there
It
it
doesn't matter.
says plans and.
Oh, yeah,
it
plans,
said
that's
Oh,
Yes.
no, that's LS3D. Okay, that's why I was confused.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're LS1A again?
Yes. Page 26, about a third of the way down.
Where is it?
Misspelling. And then this person also says, remember that first graders are just beginning to read and write. They do not use complex sentences. Well, this is not.
That kind of astounds me when I start reading this.
Then don't hand them the standards.
Also, some schools have very limited budgets, so materials used to build projects either need to be very reasonably priced or they will not be completed.
We addressed that in some of this.
Yeah,
Where are you at?
I'm on
Right on the page
I'm kind of
26.
skipping because then they go on to continuing to say how we didn't write these for first grade.
This isn't LS1A.
Oh, that's illustrated, sorry.
There's LS1A at the bottom, and it says it's remarkably similar to LS2A in grade 2.
Okay, we need to look at that.
I am. Identify and compare the physical structures of a variety of animals.
That's different, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Keep going, sister.
And then there's a recommended of rewriting LS1A structure and function.
Where?
That's on page 26.
Okay, this person says it's
There's
poorly
not-
written.
there's not enough. The only ones we want to really worry about are the ones that
That's
are
correct.
significant.
That's correct.
I know.
One person's opinion doesn't.
Well, I know, I just didn't
change.
know if that was the
That's-
one we were talking about. So
Right.
it's hard to tell what they're talking about.
That's,
Okay, now, okay, here we go, about middle of the way down on page 27. You have a one LS1A, one LS1D. Design a solution, a problem by using an internal structure from a plant or external structure from a plant or animal. Are students using actual external structure from a plant or animal or mimicking the structure?
Either one.
Oh, that's something.
Pick one and use it.
Well, I think what they're asking is, are you going to be harming animals? And using real animals?
Well, I'm pretty sure that at first grade, they're not gonna skin a rabbit and use
Right,
their skin.
right.
I'm pretty sure
But
they're
I
gonna
think
go to
that's what
Hobby
they mean
Lobby.
here. I think
They're
that's
gonna
what
go
they
to
mean.
Hobby Lobby and
Are
buy
students
register.
using actual external structure? That is really what they're
Because they
asking.
can go to Hobby Lobby and
Yeah.
buy leather or rabbit fur, so.
have a vision
I don't think that's what it
Plan.
is. I just think it's a plan.
No.
I don't know. Some of them really
My kids don't know.
You might be surprised.
That's
I know what? That's what I just said.
That is
No, some people are that way about plants
Well, but
too.
here's the thing, we do need to find a way to clarify this standard somehow.
They are, aren't they?
60% of the people, even if they
I
don't
love
follow
Barry.
it,
Look at Barry shake his head.
We need to move to not live in Missouri.
Someone on page 20,
And then 20A.
yeah, said that the NGSS wording is better. Well, that is the NGSS wording, isn't it?
I always love when it's like that. I like NGSS word best.
I thought that was the NGSS wording because it has one
It's not
dash
written.
LS1B.
Oh, we have a Bob.
And this says, and it says you gotta say.
Yeah, it says it, move it.
Accept.
Uh,
Yeah, hang on a second, let me see if I can turn it around where you can see everyone this time. My iPad's not being friendly to you, you can't see me, can you?
Not yet, no, but I just clicked the button that said I want to accept the video.
Okay.
He's got to accept it as well.
Might not. Can you guys see me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes?
Hi, Bob.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Now,
Bob.
I have classes over here too, so, but I just wanted to pop in and see if you guys are, how everybody's doing out there.
We are good. We are,
Working through the feedback.
we're going through our feedback from the survey.
Oh, good, okay.
Did you see the document that I sent to you, Bob?
We didn't need to use, we didn't use the actual wording. We need
It
to
was
use
a
the
survey
actual wording.
feedback, a survey synopsis. I sent you a report that had all the data.
First
Okay,
grade, LS1.
well, just basically, what we found was there are only 3 standards that we have to rewrite.
Yeah, I saw that.
And there were 762 responses or something like that, so
One,
it's just
are
really
you on NGSS, is that what you're
I'm
talking
looking at
about?
our
Yeah.
standards where we're.
It's on life
Does anyone wanna
science,
say anything to
LS1A.
Bob?
Hey,
No, we gotta get a
Bob.
picture, Bob. Hang on.
LS1A,
What grade level?
first grade.
You still can't see us.
We have not done.
Do you have
And
something
you're on
over
the
your
life
camera?
science tab.
That's nice.
Okay, so.
Well, we're not in the square, so we should be in the little square.
I don't have anything over my camera.
He said he pushed a button. He said he wasn't gonna accept our video.
Oh, why wouldn't you accept our video?
He's trying to teach a class, we'll distract him.
Improper
Focus.
Okay.
Here is the wording of NGSS. We did not use it. So
Okay.
let me read it to you because it may clarify everything and then we could be done with this one.
That'd be great.
Okay? Use materials to design a solution to a human problem by mimicking how plants and or animals use their external parts to help them survive, grow, and meet their needs.
I move we accept that.
In my opinion, it does clarify
Yes.
what the expectation is better than what we have written.
I agree.
Wait, you're gonna put that in the supporting standards?
No, we're looking at.
Is here, Bob? That's when it has an engineering component to the standard.
Which
Bob,
we
I'm a
have
little
an
disappointed
engineering,
in you, and I'm a little disappointed in all your friends.
we have an engineering
Because we had
component and
0
one we
engineering
rewrote.
responses to our 762 person response.
But maybe they identified as in another area and felt more compelled.
They identified as non-teacher.
Okay, you can read it to you.
Are they identified as a teacher?
Do you have it pulled, will you type it underneath?
Okay, so we're
the one you
changing
have
that one.
typed so
We only
that
have 3
people
to
can
change.
see it?
The first one we changed was,
Use materials.
we changed
We're on
kindergarten biology,
LS1A, first grade.
and we added a preposition in front of it that said with prompting and support that kindergarten students would construct an argument supported by.
Right.
The one that they had a question with, and then the second one that we're changing is 1LS1A structure and function.
Use
And we're
materials.
changing that to have the exact
To design
NGSS verbiage,
a
because actually it is
solution
more succinct
to a human
and it
problem
explains better what
by
that
mimicking
means, that particular one. So we have
how
one more to
plants
fix, and we should be
and
done.
slash
We're going to
or
send to the state
animals
board
use
not only a copy of our
their
standards,
external
a copy of our
parts
survey results,
to help
a
them
copy of your
survive,
storylines,
comma,
and a
grow,
copy of the
comma,
document we
and
created with
meet their
3 columns,
needs, period.
including the DCIs.
Very cool.
Okay,
Good.
so, okay, that's all we're at right now.
Hey, Bob Lou.
Oh, wait.
I'm done.
Hey, could you send me an email or just your story, with all your storylines in one email, or not email, but you in one document.
You want them all in one document?
I'll put them all in one document, send it to me. Then when I print all this stuff off, I can just print it off, and I'm gonna probably send a thumb drive with this when I do this. So you send it to me, then I'll make sure that's on there,
Which
so we'll get it
document
all
are you
to.
making?
Can I work on more this weekend?
Right.
Sure. I'm not gonna send this thing off until probably those
So this one
last week of September.
that we,
That's like drop dead date.
Is it what's your
Yeah, I got that. It has to be done by the 1st.
Right, okay.
So
I have some time, so hopefully I'll be able to.
that'd be fine. I'll contact you.
If necessary, I can unify a document by creating a combined PDF for you, if you want, of everything. And
oh, you're in the one where there's still, you're in the one where this.
Can he send it as a PDF to you?
What is wrong?
Yeah, that's fine. If you send a
Why do
PDF,
I not have
I can send it to you, and then you can
Okay,
punch it to me.
send it to me and send it to Perry, and then I will, the final document, I'll make a beautiful PDF to send to the state with everything in it with a table of contents in it.
And it'll look better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make it, so.
Okay.
And then I'll send it to Perry, and, yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can, you were getting gravelly, it sounded like you were.
I've been smoking.
On a roll today, good lord. She sees the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right,
What's
that's
going
what I
on?
was gonna say, like,
I'm gonna get punchy.
I'm just kidding. I'll hear it.
You're gonna start saying bits of one.
You know, that's good. Yeah, let me take a picture real quick.
Taking selfies with Bob.
Bob!
I just
Oh,
want to show
Bob!
my kids there's uses for Skype other than talk.
Okay, Jamie, it's there.
Okay.
Okay, so it's in the first grade document under life science.
Okay, Bob, we'll let you get back, and then I'll
We need to
call us back later.
decide which one we like,
Okay.
and if we wanna make any other revisions.
Oh, we may be finished by then in my dreams.
That's not
Good.
Okay, so if you are, just call me. You want me to give you my number? First grade? 417
Well, we all have not gotten there.
255 5492.
Okay, so I
And besides, I need to talk to you about Monday.
don't like the human problem. Like that's what I think they have a problem with two
255
in that last comment.
5492.
Like this, the human problem that even
Uh-huh.
could be in there.
So here's what I'm
Okay,
almost
sounds good.
picturing. I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah, the thing is though, first grade.
Uh-oh, question from Bob.
No, so you're saying that like from the feedback you got, you had a sufficient number of people that had trouble with those three standards?
That's correct.
Yes.
Or was it just like one person?
No, it was 57.6% on the first one, 60.3 on the second one, and 63.4 on the third one.
So what was like the threshold that you thought that?
Over half of them. Over half of them. If over half of them said that we need to rewrite it, we rewrote it.
So less than half of them said you rewrite it, you didn't.
That's correct.
Were there any that came close to?
Probably in the 40s.
There were a couple in the 40s.
Okay.
There were a couple in the 40s. Are you suggesting that we look at those?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that.
Okay, when we finish this, we'll look at those. All right, well, call us back later.
All right, so, thank
Okay,
you, everybody.
Bye-bye, Bob.
Everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
See you, probably.
The problem is that I don't think first graders will be able to come up with any problems that aren't human problems. Because that would be so abstract for them to come up with a problem that would be a plant problem or an animal problem. Because what you're doing is you're trying to use some of the structures and functions of plants and animals you're applying them to a new situation, and a new situation would be a human problem. But like if I said to a kid, come up with an animal problem, they're not gonna, I don't even know that I can come up with an animal problem. Right, I mean, building a dam or something, but still there's already solutions to all
Zero
those
wasting.
problems.
My cat has a problem with me.
Right, your cat is evil,
Your cat's evil? How do you know that?
because he told me stories last
We
night.
got all kinds of good stories about the cat.
What is her name? Apollonia just attacks people at random.
All stars approve.
Is Apollonia Princess
the questions and like that whole idea of are they using real ones or not, they're not, it's mimicking. So I think that it would clear up a
I
lot
don't
of
know if you want to
confusion.
address things that are that ridiculous.
The main thing I'm gonna need,
I have a problem with using
We could leave human out if we want.
that. No.
They're
You
changing
just say solution to a problem.
Right, if you
Because
think
they're
that's gonna be
automatically
better.
gonna
That's all.
assume that
There's no problem leaving human in there.
that you're
Okay.
changing
Let's
those.
leave-
He
let's
said
try
it
it.
took them in the dark.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of
It
time
has
wording them,
The final
I
line,
know.
I'm making it really nice.
and we don't want to just now pick one up, someone else had a problem with human.
Right.
Let's not worry about it.
Okay,
I didn't understand what it was.
I'll go back in. and
The other problem I
make
didn't
sure
know was that we needed really.
okay.
No problem.
So are we good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I'm adopting that motion to our master file.
And then we need to decide, I think this standard needs to go under structure and function and not information processing, because they're asking them to use the characteristics of the plants and the animals to do
We need
something.
to delete it then.
So we need to delete it under LS1B, get rid of that green box, and put it under structure and function.
So basically just delete all of the LS1B.
Yeah, that dark pine green color.
You're not going.
Where's it gonna go?
No,
Just-
no, it's not gonna get
Where are you gonna put it in?
They'll
I
follow
think it needs to go
standard.
under structure and function is where this
Structure
standard
process.
belongs.
Structure.
LS1A, structure and
Oh, no,
function.
so those aren't all assessments.
That is a comment
That's
that's
I'm
very
sorry.
similar to the
Right.
one in second
Right.
grade.
I looked at it and it's,
I looked at the standards.
in
And that's the
second
first
grade,
one.
they're
I didn't do the
comparing
supporting
two
standards that
different
help them learn it,
organisms,
or you
structures
require
and
this in
functions,
your-
and this, they're
So they just
taking
didn't
one
realize.
structure
I think they were
or
saying those
function.
two should be combined.
But the board will.
But that will
The
get
board knows.
too wordy. And too confusing.
Actually, honestly, we probably don't need the one at second grade if we have this one, because for them to do this, they're gonna have to be able to do the
And
other.
that may be what they're saying.
That's kind of what they're. So you're saying we don't need to do first grade, we need to do
They're
second
saying-
grade?
No, I think that we need to, I
Get
think
rid
we
of the
could
second grade
consider
one?
getting rid of the second grade
That's
one,
what this person said.
And I
because
could see the
Okay.
point.
If
I
you go
do
to
too,
second
because if
grade,
you
there's
can
a
do
reference to the
this,
first grade, and that's
then
what they
you can
said.
do the other one,
Yeah.
would be my
But does it fit
guess.
some, is it part of another unit we have in second grade?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't.
But
Because I think
how
we put a lot of
many
time
people-
into to make sure we had them.
No, we
Well,
didn't. We didn't scope and sequence. Remember, we said we're gonna go with what we have because we really don't have time to map everything out, and because we were gonna cut and paste all those documents I printed, and we said, no, we're not really gonna have time to do that, so we didn't do it. And if you scan through the rest of second grade's life science, it's growth of plants, that mimics function of an animal and dispersing seeds or pollinating plants. I don't see anything that's really going to encroach on that.
Several of the comments said that it's repeated. Well, and some of them reference that in the comments for second grade, but it's referring to this.
This one here.
Yes.
And which one is it?
LS1A, structure and function, and it's its second grade life
So if
science.
you look to the second grade
So identify
comments,
and
you
compare
see
the
that.
instruction now.
Yes. And I think
Just
if,
a few
I
more
think
steps.
if they can do what's at first, what we're asking them to do at first grade, they can do this.
Are we ready for the
This
next
is a little
one?
bit, this one is different.
It is a little different, you're
And
correct.
that's how
I'm not
I
saying
why
it's
we
not.
do away with it, because it is something that I.
Because we have
I think
multiple comments that say it overlaps.
You get a couple, 200 people out of 600, out of 700.
I think there's 5 or 6 comments in there about it. I could be wrong, I don't
You
know.
got 5 comments out of 700.
But the majority want it changed. They're
No,
just-
this is removing, she's talking about removing.
Oh,
But
okay.
they're saying the comments in first grade, some of the comments that were made for the first grade standard are that it overlaps with this standard. So do we just keep this standard,
I think we
Julie?
keep
How
the
do we
standards because I don't see
statistically do
it,
that?
I see it as
Just keep
it's
it.
more
Just keep it,
complex.
okay.
Because if later on, when
That's
they work
okay.
with it at the, you
They
know.
can get rid of it then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, like this comment was, NGSS wording is better, well, yes, we did agree with that comment, should go with grade 2 unit.
So we can make those yellow instead of pine green on first grade, because we cleaned up that issue, and then there's a lime green pair just a little ways down. Do we want to look at those, or do we want to?
You're right. Is it talking about line 13?
And 16.
go ahead and deal with the owl right here.
Okay.
Two green boxes the same, let's see, make an observation.
What are you guys still on
Two
that?
green boxes the same.
Are you still on first grade?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're off the survey for a second because in our main document, we had some questions.
Some notes that
So we need to clean up ourselves.
Okay.
While we're,
Observations and constructive evidence based.
I think it goes under inheritance of traits because it's offspring.
Yep.
So young plants and animals are like but not exactly like their parents. To me, that's inheritance of traits instead of variation of traits.
and there were,
You're right.
there were some.
There are one people teaching science with fourth grade.
Well, yeah, that's, I didn't see that part, I didn't get that part, but,
Multiple people.
no.
There's
Why
other
there-
science.
Too bad.
No, there's comments that say our district does not require us to teach these standards.
They don't. You're right. Those are correct.
Missouri.
That's happening all over the state.
Yeah. Okay, so are we in agreement that we're gonna put this lime green box under inheritance of traits, get rid of it under variation of
Not our
traits,
problem.
and make it yellow?
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay,
It's just
will you
fine.
make it so, Eric?
Set it up,
Thank you.
and it was ours.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, next,
So you know what it says.
go ahead, you read this.
No, you do it, you do it, you do it.
All right, next we are moving on to third grade. We are looking at ESS 3B. Make a claim about the merit of a design solution that reduces the impacts of a weather-related hazard. And people did not like this for some reason. It was the most disliked of all.
Make a claim about the merits and design solutions that reduce the impact of weather-related.
I'm with you.
Make a weather. Okay. 34, yes, down toward the bottom quarter of the page. The wording is confusing. And then again, someone says, please keep in mind the level at which third grade minds work. They are still very concrete. Put in user-friendly terms, get straight to the point. Language must be kid-friendly. Well, this is not for third graders.
Make a claim about the merit and the design.
So basically, that person is asking for a change of wording. Also, so is the next person, if you skip down.
The next two people.
Yes. And then here it says stating that they developed an investigation on climates in different regions of the world.
I'm sorry.
A change of wording would help, stating the development investigation.
That's the dinosaur unit.
Make a presentation.
It is.
Oh, I've got a pack of Oreo cookies I was gonna bring this time.
Oh.
I was gonna make you a,
Okay.
I can't believe I left those.
Okay.
Make a presentation that would give a solution to reduce a specific weather-related hazard found throughout the world. These two standards could be used together to have the child incorporate technology and math. So it's a curriculum. No, that's not us.
What other standard are they talking about?
Oh, they're wanting us to make a presentation that gives a solution to reduce a specific weather-related hazard found throughout the world. Yeah, that is a more curriculum.
And then here it says weather and climate, so I'm assuming that maybe they're addressing that same thing. They don't. Students at this age have a hard enough time understanding their place in the world, much less the climate of different places in the world.
This is a very isolationist content.
No, I don't
We're
know.
treating global children.
Yeah, but it doesn't even ask him to do a global related hazard.
And just leave that in his own.
They read that into it.
You know what I think is wrong? I think that the concern came from make a claim about merits. I think that's the version.
Here's what we're asking. Here's what we're asking.
No,
them
I
to do.
agree with you, but I'm just saying I
Right.
think that's what the problem.
What they want to do is design a solution. What we're asking them to do is analyze and evaluate a solution that's already made. And what all these project ideas that they're throwing out there that they want us to change the wording to is that they want them to design a solution We
Then
want
why
them to
don't
go
you
above
just say
that.
Why don't we say that?
We don't
Make-
want them to design a solution.
No, but why don't we say make a claim about an existing solution?
That's what this says.
Where
What
does
I
it-
think,
It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say
Make a
existing.
claim about the
Existing.
merit
so
of the
make it more
design solution.
succinct.
It doesn't say an existing
I
design.
think if you had
Or
an
it says
existing
about the
solution.
merits.
it's
I'm
like-
A
reading
design
Yeah.
solution is an existing
Make a
solution.
claim
I'm
about
just
the
saying that,
merit
but
of a
they're not gonna read it
design
that way.
solution.
So perhaps that's what we should add, is
Do we care if it's
It
existing
takes
or
out
not?
any input.
Do we care if it's existing or if it's something that they
Well, I
are
wouldn't
going to
care
create
as
themselves?
a teacher.
As a teacher,
I would like it if they came up
Well,
with a
here's
nice
the
design.
deal. As a teacher, I would make them come up with a design and then I'd have them flip-flop groups and they would make a claim about the merit of the other group's design. But that's curriculum. What we want to assess them on is if they were given a design solution, if they're given a
And
solution,
they analyze it.
then they're gonna
I think
evaluate
it's a
and
very good issue.
analyze.
I think you should say an existing design solution, and people will be fine.
Okay.
I think that would be better understood.
Yeah.
Okay, so make a claim about the merit of an existing design solution.
Can we give an example?
Because the next
Maybe we can put
person
an
says
example.
that this could be too complicated.
Yeah.
Huh?
Here we can make an example.
Of
Well,
what?
you could
Make
say
some,
like
some sort of bullet template we
Something
can
in
put in there
parentheses,
that would give them an idea what
A
we're talking
seawall.
about.
An EG, or something.
I don't think they have a problem with the
a
design.
seawall.
No, they know what we're talking about.
No, they don't.
I don't think so, because
Yeah,
they don't.
because
No, they
they
don't.
They
a
don't.
lot of you think the wording is confusing. Keep in mind.
They don't know what you're saying.
We're still very concrete.
Yeah, they obviously.
Put it in friendlier terms. Just
Too
make the point. Language must be made
complicated language,
friendly.
is they don't understand.
Some vocabulary, it's almost
I
always
see
comes
what
down to
this is.
wording and
I
change the
agree.
wording and
Is it
change the
possible
wording.
that the teachers?
But sometimes there's something we can add.
Don't really understand.
Yes, it's very possible.
I'm just gonna go
Oh,
out there.
I assume that was understood.
I definitely, it
So
says
why am I
89.1%
considering-
is teachers responding to this, the teachers don't understand the language.
That's it.
So I don't
So
think
they're
it's that
saying it's not
they,
kid-friendly, but really what they
You're wrong,
mean.
Well,
and they
I
don't
don't
get it.
think-
I don't think they get claim.
I don't think they get
I don't think they get any
claim. I don't think
They don't
get
get
design
merit of the
solution.
design.
I don't think they get merit.
What if we said evaluate and analyze?
How close
Make
is
a
this?
claim by evaluating and analyzing an existing design solution.
I like your word better.
What was it?
What was that word? What was your word?
No, she added it, existing.
Existing
Existing,
design
okay,
solution.
yes.
Make a claim
Yes, that's the
by
one.
evaluating and analyzing, or by evaluating an existing design solution.
But that's adding more verbiage. I mean, that's
It is,
adding
but
more,
it's clear.
but it's adding more.
But what we were asking originally was the merit, like, is it good or is it
Yeah,
not?
is it good or not?
That's what we were asking.
But it
before.
doesn't evaluation lend itself to that?
I would think so.
Okay, now say it again, so I can think that.
Make a claim by evaluating an existing design solution.
What if we said,
I like
Or
that.
what
construct
else?
an argument, would that?
I honestly, say it again, because I'm liking it, I'm
Make
liking
a
it.
claim
to do that
Yeah.
by evaluating an existing design
So the teacher
solution.
would
Give
know
us
that
give
was.
us an example, you just said, give us an example of what you would do.
Okay, if I taught third grade,
Any
and you're
grade.
saying make it kind, so first of all, I'd figure out, find the existing,
Find a design solution.
To a weather-related hazard.
I can think of a
So
million.
you would have come up with a
Okay,
solution. that
like the
someone's
windbreaks
gonna
you see in Wyoming, that, okay, the windbreaks you see in Wyoming, what did I say a little ago?
Hurricane.
Seawalls.
Seawalls.
But for children in the middle of the United States, those aren't as.
Tornado
familiar to them.
shelter.
Levees.
So I have to-
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, could we list,
Right.
could we put in
Yes.
parentheses, example, and list some of these things and help people understand what we're saying? Because that's very simple things.
Right.
You put
Levy at the river.
Example,
Do
levy,
you think
every.
they're having trouble coming up with what a design
Yes.
solution is?
That's exactly what I
Oh,
think.
then after design solution, put some of those examples in.
That's, I think that would
Parentheses.
ease
That's
everybody.
totally
It
wrong.
doesn't seem
Well,
like
So
Right.
leave
people.
claim
Yeah, make a claim about it.
about the merit of
Of
an
an
existing
existing
design
design
solution in parentheses,
And then just list
levies.
2 or 3, levies,
tornado shelters.
You can put seawalls, because that is something,
Yes.
everyone says
Right.
ocean.
Yes.
Seawalls,
Okay, because I really don't want to get rid of claim,
No.
because that's
Especially
a key
in
process
the
skill.
It sure is.
And it's something that needs to start being pushed.
We need to
It
get
doesn't
used
get
to
pushed
it.
until we put it in here.
Okay, I said we do that. Existing design solution, i.e. whatever,
E.g.,
e.g.
because we don't want that to be the
tornado
only
shelters,
and seawalls, et cetera.
seawalls, et cetera.
Okay,
That, I think that's beautiful. You like it?
okay.
I like it.
Is it in the way you like?
So
I
leave
think,
it
I think
the way
everyone
we
will
like.
understand exactly now what we, and I bet if we put that in there before,
And what, we wouldn't
We
have
wouldn't
as
have
many
that.
comments.
They didn't
it's not that,
understand,
it's not that difficult to understand. I mean, standard, it's not, there's
but we're
nothing like
writing it.
perplexing.
But some of
about it.
them don't want to go that high. Some of them just want to make the project be about designing solutions.
Yeah.
They don't wanna look at effectiveness.
Right.
Okay,
Because we're
per,
bumping it to the next
per
level.
Bob's suggestion, I think anything that's near 40% or greater, we should look at as well, just to see if we agree that that's sufficient. Because he thought if they were near, really,
Well,
really
you
probably
know,
40 or greater, right?
That's because he's
So we're
not
good
here.
with this one here?
All right, if I was a business everywhere,
I know, if I was
25%.
I would say, yeah, you need to revise
There's
anything
one-
30%.
Yeah, there's one comment.
Shelters,
Yeah.
Okay, page
so that
8,
people get what this is.
there were 42, or 43.6% that didn't like one PS4C, information technology.
Perfect. Too bad.
Sorry, which one are we under?
It's on page 8, you can see that 43.
Okay, why don't we start the first one? Let's start with the
That
front
is
page.
it, that is it.
That's the first
I already
one.
went through, that's the first one, that's at 40 or greater.
Okay. I thought there was,
That's the first one, we've already done these.
this, the 49 you've already done there on the first page?
There is no PS4C.
49, where's 49?
Use tools and materials to design and build a device that uses.
What are you talking about?
Or it says it's the natural
Am I in the
resources.
wrong
page?
49, page 5.
Fourth,
Oh,
first
what
grade.
are you talking about?
Where do you see that?
Ms. Concept, it's the fourth one down, page 5.
No, it isn't. That's 35.3. That's 35.3%.
Oh, you're
We're doing
talking
percentages,
about, oh, we're doing
not the number of
percentages,
people.
not
You
numbers.
can't go by number of people.
You gotta look at the dark.
You gotta look at the pie.
I would look at
So the first
It's
one,
absolutely here,
PS4C,
but
one
just
PS4C.
somebody
Yeah.
didn't get the,
yeah, that's right. One
Is it right
PS4C,
before?
page 8.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'll fix, I don't know
Okay.
how that got.
One PS4C, what is the wording on that?
Use tools and materials to design and build a device that uses light or sound to solve the problem of communicating over a distance. And I don't know if it's NGSS or if it's GLE related.
So let's see if we can see one PS4C and what the comment
What's
is.
the general comment?
That's NGSS wording. And it has an engineering component because it has the
Well,
asterisk.
here's the thing, nobody commented on it.
Well, and what they are saying is that the other one should be combined with it.
Which other one?
Oh, here's one. Combined with the weather unit.
What,
This
well,
word
duh!
could be included.
Of course you're gonna do that.
That's a curriculum thing.
That's a
That is a curriculum thing.
thing.
Okay, I vote we move on.
Move on.
Wait, read it again, just so we're clear that it's not some sort of thing.
It
about
says there should
tools.
be, oh, go ahead.
And materials to design and build a device that uses light or sound to solve the problem of communicating over a distance.
So
I'm not completely sure why they're combining it with weather. Maybe Doppler, maybe weather
Oh,
sirens,
maybe.
But I don't, it
I
could be
would
a
think that the
standalone.
problem would be that a teacher isn't fully understanding what that's about, and it seems like a lot of work.
And it's pretty wordy.
It is pretty much.
Well, I can see on that one, we might want to bring communication.
Here's my
back up
problem.
a
I
little.
think if we start grabbing these percentages that are less than 50, half of the public like the way they exist, we need to go on.
Well, I
But we
would
should
just
look at it
read
and
through in
consider it.
case there's some major.
We're gonna have to like massively think something's wrong before we change
Yeah.
it. Because I don't
So
think
let's go to
anything's
page 10.
massively
Let's go to
wrong
page
with
10.
Page 10 is the next one, yeah.
2 PS1A.
Oh, that was the one that was referenced, with, right?
structure and function. Identify and compare, is it LS1A?
Yes.
Two LS,
PS1A.
oh, PS1A.
Well,
Plan and
in-
conduct an investigation to describe and classify different kinds of materials by their observable
You know what it is?
properties.
They're wordy. Both of those have been.
Doesn't matter,
very-
I think
Nothing
they
wrong
need
with
to
that.
be.
Also,
Very
we have a red box for two
We're done with red boxes.
PS1A.
Make them white.
You question that order.
I'm teasing, you don't have to
Don't
do
do
that.
that.
Need it.
Do we think we should go back and revisit our red boxes?
I guess at some point today, yes, we need to.
But I have a feeling I'll see you.
Okay, so Harry wants to go back and visit the red boxes.
There was a reason they were red. I don't
They're
know.
red because we needed to go back and argue
Yeah.
about them longer.
Are we finished with that? I'm okay with PS1A. There are no comments about it.
I have no, and to me, it's very,
Other than the person that says removal and doesn't really say why.
there's nothing, planning, conduct, investigation, describes, classifies different kinds of.
We already did natural hazards,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Next was 13, page 13, natural selection.
Oh, yeah. LS4B.
Okay, what's it say about comments?
Which one is it?
3 LS4B.
Can you read that for us?
3 LS. Yes, I can.
Okay, and here I found a comment.
LS.
Sometimes the differences in characteristics between individuals of the same species provide advantages in deriving and planning to mate. Use evidence to construct an explanation for how the variations in characteristics among individuals of the same species may provide advantages in surviving and planning to mate.
They want to simplify it.
This person says the word variations may need an example that will not give away the answer, but may add a bit of clarity to being asked. A little too wordy, needs a highly
That's pretty
intellectual
wordy.
person to sit down and decipher it. Why can't you just simplify the explanation? Well,
This is a GLEE, so this is one that we transported from GLEE to performance standards. So we tried to add the 3 dimensions to it.
And it's not-
And in
it's not that
doing
hard.
that,
It's not that hard.
it could have
So
become
this was
more.
an existing one.
Yeah, this is. you said
This was a GLEE that we performance standardized it.
And on the page 35.
All of them
it
say-
Seems very long and
Long,
complicated.
it's just the wording, they just
Yeah.
get wordy.
Difficult to understand.
Does anyone have a problem reading it
I
and
mean,
understanding
you
it?
could erase some words, you could say
Would you
use
read it one more
evidence
time
to
just because
explain.
It says use
how-
evidence to construct and explain for how the variations in
Wait, say that
characteristics.
again?
No, he didn't say it the right way.
Oh, you didn't say it?
Use evidence to construct an explanation, I'm sorry, I said explain. An explanation for how the variations in characteristics among individuals of the same species may provide advantages in surviving and finding mates.
Well, and some people have
It's hard
the
to-
problem with discussing the concept of finding mates in 3rd grade. Like, but don't we?
We
That's
have
not a
dogs,
problem.
we have
But
cats.
we're not-
No, they're not gonna talk about that. They're gonna talk about different colored birds. They're gonna talk about the male bird versus the coloring of the female
The
bird.
amount of
Or the
dogs.
male fish versus the coloring of a
Okay,
female fish.
but finding mate is a subset of species survival, isn't it?
Yeah, if you
Yes.
don't find a mate, your
Not just selection.
genes aren't gonna be
Right,
passed
so
on.
you could say it's redundant.
Hey,
Provide
do you know
advantages
how
in
to tell the
surviving
sex of
and
DNA?
finding mates.
No, I got a feeling something's.
How to find the sex of DNA?
Yeah.
No.
You pull down its genes.
I knew this was coming. I saw it
I did.
2 miles away. I knew the script was up. We have.
Dumb joke written all over
Deleting.
her face.
So actually, I disagree. That only tells you the secondary sexual characteristics. It doesn't actually tell you.
No, that's a lie.
Oh, no, that's why. You're gonna find out, I'm telling you.
Jeez. Okay, so I totally interrupted you, but we needed a brain break.
Oh, I think we've had plenty.
No, I was having this debate with a group of high schoolers over the weekend.
About
Actually,
genes?
if you've not had a chromosomal test, then you don't really know what your biological sex is. You just know what your